Welcome to part two. We're joined by Liam. He should be clicking on in a minute. Painter and decorator from Brinsworth in Rotherham. Good lad. Nice to have Liam on. Ex-amateur star. Very knowledgeable on the sport. Speaks very open and clearly. Who's... Oh, hang on. Unmute, lad.
Mute.
Unmute, there you go. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, let's get stuck in then. Uh, Anthony Yard against Benavidez.
I think Yard takes a good shellacking and then probably won't see him box again.
I think he takes a shellacking and then they put him in with Boazzi for a best of British.
Yeah, possibly.
Callum
Possibly. I
Smith.
liked
Two fights that are always going to be there, aren't they? He's obviously not world level, is he? He's like Euro level in a yard.
at best. I think it is at your
Boazzi and
level at best.
Callum Smith on their day in that division, they're not going to be better Beeve and Bivol, are they? So they're Euro level. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I think uh, Callum Smith's probably the best of them three.
Yeah, but
Uh,
he's not going to beat the top two, is he?
oh
Callum.
no, well it's already been proven, hasn't it? He took a
Yeah.
proper pasting off of Turbiev, so yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't think anybody would hang with Benavidez at minute. None of them three.
I think Callum Smith would right Yard off as well.
Yeah, I do. I think he'd stop him pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Okay. Would you think Anthony Yard's manager, old lion bars in the fridge, dream it, believe it, become it? You think Tunde Ajayi? I know he's an annoying little cop, but do you think he'll? Do you think he's done well for Yard, even though he's annoying?
No, he's ruined Yard's career.
Yeah.
I can't stand him. I cannot stand that little twat. I hate him. I hate everything about him. I hate how he's braggadocious all the time. All he does is brag about what he's achieved for other people. It shouldn't even be. He shouldn't be in limelight. I don't even know why he gets interviewed. He's like a preacher. He acts like a preacher, like he should be in a church, like a church pastor. He's he's ruined Yard's career. One minute he's fighting bin men, then he's fighting world champions, then he's back down to bin man level again. It don't make any sense.
Yeah, it's not. He's not learning, is he?
No, well, what he's learning, all he's learning is either smash somebody to bits in 2 rounds or get chinned yourself. That's all he's learned.
I've never. We need to know if Yard can win when he's been in a firefight, don't we? Look, this is how I look at it. Right, when you're in a firefight, you've got to look at all the great matchmakers like Ernie Fossey, Dean Powell, Mick Hennessy. I mean, I'm not. I don't. I know. I always refer it back to this one, but go look at Mick Hennessy. Right, he put Frotch in with who was the guy he put him in with now? Brian McGee, right, an Olympian, right, Southpaw, biggish puncher from Ireland,
Yeah.
and British Commonwealth European. I think he won a world title as well. He won WBA regular, didn't he? He put him in with Frotch. I know Frotch dropped him 4 times and got him out there, left him. That round 11 against Brian McGee were brutal from Frotch. When McGee's on floor, he's got his arms all crumbled around Frotch's ankle, and Frotch just drags his foot off him and just more or less boots him out of the way. The swagger on Frotch that night were unbelievable, but they're your firefights where you're going into a fire, and it's like Teddy Atlas says, "We're firefighters, aren't we?" I used to say to Tim Bradley, "Well, you've got to be a firefighter and be prepared for that big night." Billy Joe were a protected WBO champion. Once he got his big night, he'd never been in a fire, had he?
No. There's loads
Wait,
of looking back through history. There's loads that's happened like that. Same as Galal Yafi other week. That were a firefight, and he couldn't handle it, could he?
yeah,
Never been in. I know we all drugs and that apparently, but he'd never been in that situation where he's fighting for his life. And that Frotch against McGee, that set Frotch up perfectly for your Taylor fights and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
yeah, yeah. Matthew Barney, right? Fought Frotch. You remember him, Matthew Barney?
No, I don't.
Well, he fought Frotch, and he were like an Andre Dirrell type Twitch fighter, and I were there, mate. He gave Frotch nightmares in that fight, mate. Absolute nightmares. But Frotch roughed him up and beat him up over 12 rounds. But let me tell you this: when he fought Dirrell, it was the same sort of fight. He was prepared for Dirrell. See where I'm coming
Yeah,
from? From
yeah,
that matchmaking by Mick Hennessy, because only a few years later that he fought Dirrell. So the great matchmakers, they put fighters in fights because they predict they're going to fight a certain person down the line or they're going to be in a firefight. Of these fighters here we're on about today here, Daniel Dubois, his first firefight, who was that?
probably Lorena, a blown up
Lorena.
cruiserweight.
And what happened when he got dropped a third time? They rung the bell, didn't they? With 15 seconds to go. They rung it early to save him, didn't they?
Yeah, that's how he didn't
You know
swallow it.
why
That.
they did that? I'll tell you why they did that. Because they were ready for throwing towel in Dubois.
Yeah, yeah,
They know him, didn't they? Shane McGuigan know him. They managed to turn it around. Bricktop bought him some time there. But then what happened when he come up against Joe Joyce? He was in another firefight, wasn't he?
yeah,
What happened then? He quit, didn't he? When were
yeah,
the firefight after that? Because they spoon fed him after that, like they've done with Anthony Yard, spoon fed him in between killer fights. They then put him in with Usyk, a killer fight, a roadman. He quit. He never won a round at the fight, did he? He quit.
yeah. I know, I know.
And then they sell it
Uh,
to us again 2 years later that he's this reformed character and he's now a roadman and icing people. Who did he ice? Miller.
Joshua, that's it.
Miller. It took him nearly 30 minutes to get Miller out there. Ergovic a plank of wood, right? And a other one shot Joshua. That don't make
Yeah,
you a roadman to hang with Usyk. He never won a round again. But that's how they sold it to us. And that plus that low blow. Dubois not being in a firefight. He's not a firefighter. He's not a Clinton Woods against Crawford Ashley. Go watch that. Clinton's in a firefight with a smashed
yeah,
cheekbone and a broken nose. If you go watch that fight, go look at the state of Clinton Woods' face.
yeah. Well,
British Commonwealth European fight title fight and the WBC #1 slot on offer to get Roy Jones. Clinton were in a firefight and he came through, didn't he?
yeah. Even all them fights against Glengoff Johnson, they were all hard nights for him and that kind of stuff. But it all set him out to become a world champion, didn't it?
Of course it did, mate. He went 1-1-1 with Glenn Coffey Johnson, who iced Roy Jones. I think he's had other great wins as well, Glenn Johnson. He got a
Yeah,
great CV. That light heavyweight era, then, you Glenn Johnson, Montel Griffin, Roy Jones, Clinton Woods, Tarver, all
yeah.
them guys, Rico Oil, Clinton Dunning. Do you remember that one? They're
But
all
that Sheffield Arena, that.
hey, yeah, they're
But
all
that,
road guys, weren't they?
yeah, I went to them. I went to all them fights, all the ones in Sheffield.
He got 9 years, him, didn't he, Rico Oy, for killing somebody when he was a kid. They were dangerous, they're all terrified of him, his team. Clinton was telling me. Clinton went and done the business with him, mate. But the point
Yeah,
I
he
want
did.
to
Yeah,
make is he'd been in firefights. Dennis Big Ron, I give Big Ron some stick, but I still speak to him. Big Ron knows what he's doing. No, he knew what he was doing with Clinton anyway, because he had some marble and he had to shape it and chisel it, like a sculpture. And they were a good team. Billy Joe's never been in a firefight, right? Liam Smith had never been in a firefight till he fought Canelo. Do you see where I'm coming from? A lot of
yeah,
these are WBO protected fighters. Anthony Yard, Daniel Dubois, these are protected. Which brings me back to Moses Atoma. He's 12-0, and they're talking about Usyk already. He's already been spoon fed.
yeah,
Parker would absolutely rip him a new arsehole.
yeah. It's ridiculous. He needs another. What would you say? 8 fights, 6 to 8 fights before he's even ready for it. Likes anybody like that?
Listen, mate. Listen, back in the day, you didn't get a world title shot after 25 fights or up to year 2000. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like, odd
Yeah,
person did, but you've got to earn your coat. You've got to earn your stripes. Your Kawasaki, what were he about? 23 fights, Frotch 23, 24. They're different kettle of fish because they're highly decorated amateurs. We're talking about uh, different type of caliber fighters here. Some of them are getting it after a few fights, like Lomachenko, but double Olympic champion. The rest of them
yeah.
have got to learn the craft, haven't they?
There's a massive difference, though, isn't there, from like you say, from like Lomachenko to you see, Itoma's seemed to build a reputation, a career off everyone who he sparred with saying how good he were. But have we not heard that before with Martin Bacoli?
Listen, mate, we heard it all with that Michael Grant, didn't we? Who were Lennox Lewis Polax.
Yeah,
He were 30 odd and 0 at the time. He were icing people, putting them on button mode. He were a big scary dude from some rough area. Everybody shit the pants when they seen him. Lennox Lewis didn't mess about with him. He lit him up, mate, like a firework.
yeah,
But
I remember. Yeah,
it is what it is. Sparring stories. Oh my god! I mean, shit. Dave Allen's a good sparrer. Can you do it
yeah,
tonight? It's all right sparring a good couple of rounds with somebody, 2 or 3 rounds, being known as a tough pug. When we want to see Dave Allen throwing 50 punches around, not fucking 12 and 15, do we?
yeah. There's loads and loads of gym fighters where they're absolutely fantastic on pads, on bags, sparring.
Pelly Reid, do you remember him?
Yeah,
He used to bash up Horsecock. He ended up on Skid Row, an electrician, Horsecock. Ended up a WBO cruiserweight champion, didn't he? But Pelly Reid used to bash him up, make him cry in the ring, make him cry like a girl.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
know. That's what I mean. It's one of them, innit? But
and they
going
only
back to
do body sparring there, that babby body sparring, don't they?
yeah, well, that was apparently to protect him from being hitting head too much.
Yeah.
Don't know how true it is. But
No,
going
I'll
back to
tell you
Yard,
why that is. It's to give them longevity so Ingles can keep wheeling them out.
yeah, I know.
We've done it for 49 years now, and everybody's just about cottoned onto them, aren't they, now, what they are about.
Hey, do you still want one of his t-shirts bringing?
No, I don't want one of his t-shirt. If you come into my barbecue, don't bring me one. I'll set it on fire.
No, I'll bring same size as what Flex wears, 8 to 9 years old. It might look good on you.
Flex with his 34 chest t-shirts and he's a 48 chest.
That.
I know, you couldn't make it up, could you? Pop, pop, poppity, pop. Dylan White hammering Judge Jordan on Talkspot and all the rest of them, telling them that they're not proper journalists and they only ask certain questions, certain people and that. Go on, Dylan White, the can man.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think he should give that Jordan a slap.
Well, listen, he's annoying. Simon Jordan, stop nicking stuff out my material, you, and then dressing it up as your own on Talksport. Hey, get your own material, you cocksucker. Uh, this quit thing with John Coffey, it's not going to go away, Liam. Have you an idea why Bricktop won't say he quit? Because if that had been anybody else, they'd have been a quitter, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I know earlier I'm going to contradict myself. I said that I think Vic Tupper washes hands of him, but also I don't think he wants to upset his father.
No,
Just
no,
in case, just in case there is another fight lined up for him where he can skim a few million off him. And if he starts upsetting his dad might say, right, we'll go to Eddie Hearn, then we'll go. So, do you know what I mean? We'll go to Ben Shalom.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I see where you're coming from on that. We spoke about Adam Azine. He's obviously in good hands. Shane McGuigan, old Johnny Bravo himself. Uh, Cal Yafai, sorry, not Cal Yafai, Gal Yafai and Rodriguez, the WBC. It looks like they might have to do it again. What do you think?
If they do it again, I think it'll be the same result.
Yeah.
You can't out Mexican a Mexican, in my opinion. You can't stand and trade with him. See, he's another one. He was a bully boy. Uh, Gamal, isn't it? Gamal Yafai were a bully,
Yeah.
stopping it, just walking through everybody. As soon as he come against somebody who can outfight him, outland him, and out strength him, he was lost, weren't
Oh, tell me about it.
he?
Tell me about it. He looked
But
at
this,
depth, didn't he? But to be fair, it's still not been changed to a no contest. But yeah, they got Devin Haney's changed pretty quickly, didn't they?
I don't think it will change now. Has it not been? Has it not been? Has the test not been thingied now, like boycotted?
I don't know. It's not. Apparently, he's still 9-1. Eddie Hills, the Iceman from Billy Ricky, 7-0. We're going on about it today. So because people were saying, well, he's still 9-1, but you got Devin Haney's changed to a no contest. Why can't we do same thing for Gal Yafai? You're not going into bat for your fight already, but he got a shallacking and he might, and he's coming up 33-year old, isn't he? He's quite old for that weight, isn't it? That.
Do you know if he does fight him again, if the rematch happens, it can be a career-ending fight. I think.
Yeah, it sure can, mate, can't it?
I think when Josh Warrington rematched Lara straight away, if they hadn't have been stopped on cuts, that'd have been a career-ending fight. That I think it's will be the same again.
Well, they're saying he's not going to fight again this year. Yafai, and he's 33 this year, so he'll be going. If he fights next year against Rodriguez, they'll be pushing 34.
And a year out as well.
And
Now,
he,
what's that telling you? How much of a pasting did he take if he can't fight again this year?
exactly. So, okay. Don Charles, he's now up to 32 interviews since the fight across social media. Uh, he's having beef with everybody. Derek Warchizora, aka Scooby Doo, Johnny Horsecock, the Source, Lawrence Okoli. He's sticking it to anybody that don't agree, that isn't Team Don or Team Dubois. Is he begging to get his P45 back off Stan the Man Dubois?
Well, he deserves to be getting slagged off and having some beef because he's got no arsehole, has he?
No, that
The,
corner was shocking, wasn't it, on the night?
the, the, the more and more that I hear about it, the build up to the fight and everything, the more and more I think, what's that bloke doing? How can he call himself he needs his license removing, I think. His training license.
Yeah.
How can you Dubois Dubois' interest should have been solely Don's should be in Don's hands. Do you know what I mean? His dad shouldn't have anything to do with it. He's responsible. He's in that corner on that night looking after that lad. Letting him party before, turning up to event late. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They need some internal investigation into that and his license removing in the meantime, I think.
You think?
He could have got that kid killed partying before. I mean, what if he'd have been spiked while we were at this party?
Well, yeah. Are you telling me there were no booze and no drugs there?
Of course they were. Of
Hey.
course they were. It was full of plastic gangsters, weren't it?
I've seen that. Who is it with Jamaican woolly hat thing strutting about like Bob Marley? So he must have been Weed Man. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there'll have been all sorts flying about, and all it'd take is him to pick some money up or have a drink or something, and that's it. He'd lose, get busted, not see him for 2 years, then he'd sail off into sunset and retire, wouldn't he? But yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
You think he just ran out of ideas though, Liam, against Usyk?
He didn't have any to go in with.
Every time he set his son up for that big right hand to land on Usyk, Usyk moved to the side and just touched him. We didn't put not much power on, and he had to reset himself again. And do you know what I thought happened? I just thought he just got mesmerized by it all. That's what I think. I think he just got mesmerized by what was happening, and he couldn't fathom it out. And I think he had like a mental breakdown because he was shaking his head. He didn't know where he were when after the second knockdown, did he? And he didn't get hit with that big a punch, was it?
No, I think his arse went in about 10 seconds in the first round. If you watch it, Usyk come out and I think he threw 2 or 3 jabs that landed, and Dubois you could see panic in his face straight away. Then he was trying to tee right hand up, but with that you could see it coming a mile out. You might as well have put a stamp on it and sent it through Royal Mail. That's how long it took to get delivered. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, it were. I don't know. Do you know what though? I bought into hype a little bit. I thought, oh, if anyone's going to do it, it might be Usyk, it might be Dubois. But then I put a comment on a video, and I thought to myself, Usyk's seen this all before, hundreds and hundreds of times. So there were no chance, were they really?
No, there was no
How
chance.
many amateurs? How
Hey,
many amateurs did Usyk have? 300 and odd.
350
So what we're saying, I reckon he'll have seen Dubois style, what, 200 times easy.
easily.
So Dubois didn't have a chance then, did he?
No.
But yeah, we all bought into it. We all got sold a lie again.
Well, we all bought into this hype, like we're all buying into this Atoma bullshit, and he's not beat anybody.
No, I think even beating Dillian White isn't all right, it looks good on BoxRec, but realistically, it's not a big name anymore, is it?
No, no, no. He's not a big. But Dylan White's shot to death, mate.
They'd have been better off fighting that Tete who we boxed last time, who
Listen, when
Dylan
Dylan
White boxed last
White were
time.
living in Portugal, Mark Tibbs flew out to see him. He was shot to pieces then, mate. He was shot
Yeah,
to pieces. Mark Tibbs went out there. He said to that Xavier, "What you been doing with them for a week?" He went, "Oh, we've done this, we've done that. We've been doing these twists on a plastic ladder, running up and down on them plastic stick-on ladders. Do you know what I'm on about?"
yeah, yeah,
So he gave Mark Tibbs these spreadsheets. Mark Tibbs went, "Fuck off with your spreadsheets, Dylan. Get on the scales." And that were it.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Old school training that.
Hey,
Old school that. Get on scales. We used to
well,
have to get on scales every
there you
week. I
go.
dreaded
Innit? I
it.
don't want to. Could you imagine somebody saying to Marvin Hagler or Carlos Monzon, "Yeah, I'm your new strength and conditioning guy today. I'm just going to stick this thing up for Hagler," and say, "Well, it looks like a ladder that's sticky take." He said, "Yeah, what I want you to do, Marvin, is just sprint in ladder and make it really quick from one end at gym to other." He'd tell him to F off, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I think there's too much of that now. There just needs to be some old school training again. Work hard, run hard, hit back as hard as you can for as long as you can. There's no wrong with proper old school training, is there?
No, he's direct, mate. It's you can't beat it, can you? But like I said, what happened? They had that Xavier Miller in, didn't they? Bombay Dave and Mark Tibbs got squeezed out, didn't he? And then there you go. You saw what happened, didn't you? He got lit up, didn't he, against Povetkin?
Yeah, but I think you were out of shape then in that fight. We
Yeah,
just weren't fit enough. So when I were boxing amateur, right, all we did 6 round shadow boxing, 6 round skipping, 6 rounds bags, and then a bit of sparring. And there were nobody in the gym that were unfit. So it
yeah. Of
works. That method works.
course it's yeah, because you're skipping 18 minutes, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that method it's tried and tested over years. You don't need all this fancy high trick like jumping in and out of ropes and all that stuff. Go for a run. It's all the same thing, really.
Listen, all these, and this is what they are, absolute cocks. They've got this like table tennis ball on an elastic band around their heads and they're whacking that. Have you seen them doing that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
Usyk's doing it, right? Listen, half of them can't even throw a jab properly or an overhand right, and they're trying to be Usyk. It's a bit like that pity patty stuff that Mayweather does, and Tunde learnt it when he were over at Vegas, and he's brought that to Yard, but it didn't help Yard against Better Beef, did it? Or Lyndon Arthur.
that. See, that's another thing we had. I don't understand how he's built, his physique and his stance and everything. He shouldn't be doing that Mayweather stuff.
No, he shouldn't,
He
mate.
should fight. He should fight like a strong fight. He should fight like a strong fighter, not that tippy tappy pad work. In my opinion, I might be completely wrong, but I think if he'd have had a different trainer, a different manager, and possibly fought likes of Callum Smith and Rocky Fielding and them a couple of years ago, he'd had a good shout against Kovalev and them kind of opponents. But just not being brought through right.
No, I agree, mate, 100%. Uh, last couple we're up to now. Obviously, we know Bellew's a matchroom groupie. He's totally lost his mind. What sort of man travels from Liverpool all the way to Matchroom for free to fish all day and he's not a fisherman? That's what you're up against, people like that. Uh,
Yeah.
Eubank Ben 2. Looks like it's off, doesn't it?
It's off, but I seen a post earlier saying that there's an alternative date trying to be arranged. That's because they haven't got any other fights lined up. That's why.
Well, it remains to be seen what goes on with that, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think they wanted Pacquiao if he looks old with his fight, but he still looked pretty good. So I think Ben's thought, no, forget that.
Do you?
I do, yeah. Pacquiao would light Ben up even at 47.
Honestly, do you reckon?
I do, yeah, I do. He's got no since he's come off this juice that these eggs that he were taking. He hasn't had a stoppage. He hasn't even had a knockdown, has he?
I don't think. Do you know what? Somebody said something to me about Pacquiao. I think it was you on it. Has he had one stoppage in about 15 years or something? Let me have a look.
Yes, yeah. I think he stopped. With Cotto, like he stopped somebody in between Cotto. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I think he's had one or two stoppages in the last 15 years. Yeah,
Let me have a look here. Right, Manny Pacquiao's. He stopped Lucas Martin Mateus in the seventh round in
yeah,
7 years ago, and before that it was Miguel Cotto 09,
yeah,
Ricky Hatton 09, De La Hoya 08, David Diaz 08, Manuel Marquez split decision. Then, I mean, the Ricky Hatton, Cotto, and De La Hoya, them three, that's where people stood up and noticed his power, didn't they? But De La Hoya were an old man. He never fought again, right?
yeah,
Ricky Hatton only had one more fight, and that was 3.5 years later, Senchenko, when he got knocked out there. So he were an old man. And
yeah.
Miguel Cotto,
He'd already had a couple of hidings off. Didn't he have an hide off?
he'd had 11. He'd had 11 fights by this after that, but
Yeah,
Miguel Cotto, he'd had fucking 47. He'd had 38, 36 fights when he
yeah.
knocked when he knocked Cotto out. But after Cotto were knocked out by Manny Pacquiao, uh, Cotto didn't really do much for me, in my opinion. He beat Yuri Foreman. Hang on, he went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hang on, 2, 4. He went 7-4 in his next 11. So
Right.
Cotto really were on slide, wasn't he? Really,
Yeah, he'd had some hard fights, hadn't he? Up until that point, the Margarito fight were brutal.
I mean. You'll get people piping up and saying that I'm wrong on that one, but I thought Cotto were just he were finished. I thought Miguel Cotto were finished when he fought Pacquiao. I know he'd been beat before, but I personally thought he were on slide and I know he was 34-1, but I thought he were on slide then. Cotto, the chinks had started to appear, but it is what it is. He'll go down as a great fighter, but I think people got carried away with Manny Pacquiao's power. We're just getting people at the right time. Bob Arum's a master, an absolute master.
I don't know. Might be controversial saying this, but I've always had an opinion that he's been juicing Pacquiao.
Did you notice how Max DeLuca uh, were one at judges in the
All right.
eh?
No, I didn't know. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, Ted Cheatham and Steve Wilesfield had it a draw, didn't they? But Max DeLuca, uh, he had it. He had it 115, 113 for Barrios, but the other two who were Bob Arum's big chums. They had it a draw, but I know
Yeah,
Arum's
yeah.
nothing to do with Pacquiao now. But it makes you wonder if they
Do
give
you
it as a
reckon?
cut, eh?
I said, do you reckon he's been juicing through his career?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I reckon that they give it as a draw because Pacquiao was the draw. They gave it as
Yeah,
a draw because Pacquiao was the big money draw, isn't he?
yeah. There's supposed to be. There's a rematch in there apparently.
Well, I mean, what's he going to be with rematch? 48 or something.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what I
Yeah,
mean? So, okay. Dalton Smith, they reckon he's going to be out in October 11th on the Rhino show. They'll have to prop show up if they're putting Dave on as headline. Do you think?
yeah. But I thought he were next in line for a world title shot. Who's he gonna fight
Well,
on
I
that
don't know.
show?
He'd have to headline them money, but they reckon Elmer Fudd will be on undercard as well. So there could be like he's got a 2 fight deal with Hills on Rhino. So if he loses
Yeah,
against this guy and Fisher's on undercard, they can write the script for the trilogy and stand on that contract, can't they?
yeah, yeah. That's. I'm umming and ahhing whether to go or not. But I'm gonna wait for undercard to come out first.
Well, I'm banned from all Matchroom shows, aren't I?
Oh yeah, put a wig on and sneak in.
Yeah, I could do, couldn't I? Willie Hutchinson, 11-month out ring. What do you think to that?
I was listening to Aaron the other day, and he thinks that it might have popped, and
Yeah.
I agree.
There's no like coming straight out of it, Liam. Is
No,
pop goes the weasel.
I agree, though. I agree. It's funny,
Yeah,
isn't it, that these people just go into wilderness after. I mean, let's bear in mind before that, he was boxing on Saudi shows. He was getting a bit of momentum. All right, he lost against Boatsi, but he
yeah.
did all right. Then all of a sudden, it disappeared.
What about Opie Price though? He's been out over 2 years now.
Yeah, same again.
You know, what I mean, there's people who've had the fractured skulls that out that long.
I know. Unless was his last fight the kid from Doncaster who ended up getting brain damage or a bleed on brain. Was that his last fight?
I'm not sure, you know.
Unless it's like a little bit of mental trauma for him, upsetting him that it's caused that much damage. Whether that's pulled him away from boxing a little bit, I don't know.
Well, Bombay Dace has got an injured hand. It must be some badly injured hand. Who's been sat on it? Mo Pryor, eh? So
Yeah,
I don't know, but okie doke. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, mate. Nice to
yeah,
see
no worries.
you. Hope you're well,
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
and we'll have you on again. Keep in touch.
Yeah, I will do. I've got
Cheers,
your.
mate.
All right, pal. See you later.
Cheers, Liam. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, that was Liam from Rotherham, a nice kid. Women love him. Men want to go out with him to boxing matches. That's about it. I'm knackered. So we'll get these out now. Finish them up strong. Okie dokie. One piece out. Don't forget to click on the link that's pinned in the comments section and have a little nosy at that. Go on, pop, pop, bang. Max, let's get at it. Dennis can't get you a fight, Max, and he don't want to mess with me. So me and you, Max, what do you reckon? Get in touch. Don't be hiding from me. I'll punch you up, Max. You're easy to me. You're only heavyweight.